Okay, let's deal with this live yeast starter malarkey. Sourdough starters. I'm going to make 2 from scratch today. Just as we're on lockdown, I've got nothing better to do apart from painting the kitchen ceiling in the front room, so I don't want to peek too soon. So here I've got some strong white bread flour. I've also got some wholemeal spelt flour. So let me put you down over here. I'm going to grab a couple of jars. Jobs are good. Right, first jar, I'm going to add, let's just make sure I can see what's going on in there. Yeah. So, strong white bread flour. I'm going to add 1, 2 tablespoons to the first jar. Second jar, I'm going to add 1 strong white bread flour, and then from the wholemeal spelt I'm going to add 1 of them. Now, I'm just curious myself as to which one of these will kick off quickest or best. Obviously that's not going to be on today's video. Right, I'm going to get my infamous kiddies chopsticks, combine in the second jar the spelt flour and the plain bread flour. While it's dry, that'll be easier. Give that a whirl around just to loosen it up. And that's just strong white bread flour in that one. Now, using bottled water, you can use filtered water, or you can pour out water and leave it on a jug on the side of tap water, in which case I have to leave it stand for an hour, let the chlorine disappear. Right, same measuring device, doesn't really matter what you're measuring this with, it can be a teaspoon, tablespoon, shovel, doesn't matter. Equal measures. 1, 2 waters. 1, 2 of water. Lid back on that for a minute, put it to one side. Put it on the shelf. Right there.
Yeah, you
right,
still
with
video?
with a mixing stick.
Seal of approval.
Don't be too close, but that's good. Right, mixing sticks. Oil them up to combine. Should end up with a consistency of pancake batter, I suppose it is really. There we go. Right, that's just plain bread flour. This is a 50-50 mix of wholemeal spelt flour and bread flour. Wholemeal flours are a bit more thirsty, so they suck up more moisture, so this one will be a slightly thicker batter. Same principle, get all the dry stuff, make sure it's mixed in. There we go. Right, pick you up for a look. So, that's the first one. How do you do that? It's quite runny, see? Second one, not as runny. Right, now I've gone all eco warrior. I've cut out a couple of pieces of cloth over the top of you, over the top of you. Hairbands that the wife leaves lying around every bloody where, quite handy. Clip over, wallet, done. Don't know what that's off of. Clip that one over, done. Right, so there's your 2 starters from scratch. We're going to check on them daily, and after about 3 days it should be bubbling away and quite active. Time will tell. So we need to put them somewhere warm, somewhere 20, 21 degrees. Front room on the shelf with the ornaments, who knows. Right, put them to one side. Going to move on now to if you've blagged a live starter off of someone. This is mine, but fridge dweller. Right, that lives in the fridge and gets fed once a week. So, first up, we need to see how much is in there. So we're going to get the jug. No, we're not going to zero the scales, turn them on. Put the empty jug on. Then zero it. Now we're going to pour that out. Now, I will say I took this out so it's at room temperature. I only put it back in the fridge to prove a point. We'll pour that lot out. There we do. Right, so we've got 128 grams of starter that lives in the fridge. So, just to make that easy, I'm going to add to it 128 grams of flour, strong white bread flour is fine. What have we got to label that out with? I'll just do it with the spoon I've got. It's probably about 4 heaped tablespoons. Hurdy-gurdy, flour everywhere. A bit more, let's call it 5. Jobs are good. Right. This isn't an exact science, near enough's queer enough. So I've just taken that up to 221 grams. So what I'm going to do now, put the lid back on that for a minute. One side, and get the bottled water again, add another 100 grams of bottled water. There we do. Good. Just wipe the lid on. Right, get the old stirring sticks. You can go to one side we'll finish with. Give all that a good mix. You smell that, that'll have a yeasty, natural yeast smell of beer pretty much, fermenting-ments. Right, so that is the feed, but fridge dweller. What I'm going to do now, I'll pick that up, look how well that. So I'm going to pour a jar full of that. Probably 3/4 of a jar, to be honest. It's got to have room to expand. There we go. So I've probably filled that. I filled it just up to the bottom of the line where I've got the label on it. So just over half. I'm going to put the lid back on that and then knock it back half a turn, let some gas out, because obviously as it feeds it will give off gas. Open the fridge. Right, so that's that Sourdough Starter back in the fridge where it lives. It will live in there week to week. If you go on Ollie Bob's or anything for a couple of weeks, it will still be alright. It will just take longer to activate. Now, this one's Bert Levain for non-leavened bread. As you can see, I used it all right up yesterday. So I'm going to pour the rest of my mixture into there. Look, what you can you pass me the silicone spatula from over there?
Yeah. Well, this thing.
No, silicone spatula.
Oh, right, yeah.
That. Right. There we go. Now, not a great deal in that, so I'm going to feed it again. Scraping that out, no point wasting it. Right, instead of weighing this, I'm going to go for just measuring, so I'm going to put in 2 flours, 4 waters, give it a mix and then add another 2 flours. At this point it's gone like a really thin pancake mix. Chucking another 2 scoops of flour. Just to thicken it up a bit more. Combine that lot. Hopefully I'll be up somewhere near the bottom of my ladle. Right, I'm going to try and scrape down the sides a bit with a spatula. Like that. That'll do. I'm going to cover that now with a kitchen towel. Find another rubber band in a minute, but that's basically that one. So that's going to go somewhere warm. In about, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours, I suppose it'll be active and kicking off and doubled in size. Right, don't need the lids off those jars, there you go. We'll need that. Right. Okay. So, what I've got here is when Bert Levain's oversized and getting too big to feed, I pour it out onto a silicone mat, put it out in the sunshine, let it dry out, which is what gives me this stuff. So this will be experimental because I did this quite some time ago. So this is your real backup if anything goes wrong or if you want some. So scales, turn them bad boys on. I'm going to restart a new starter using the dried starter there, which came from the old starter cast off. So that's the full circle of life of this kit. So I'm going to weigh out about 4 grams. Oh, that's handy, it is 4 grams. 4 grams of dried out starter. Chuck it in a mortar and pestle. And then bash up the Jesus out of it. So, your this would go back then into a pretty floury powder, really. Don't be too mental. Right, you can go back on the shelf. Right, another empty jar. Yeah. So that's that repowderised. Stroke smashed up a bit. Empty jar. In with that lot. Here we go. So, let's add some water. What do we think? 4 grams of that. I reckon we'll go for 2 tablespoons of bottled water. Yay! That's whatever goes over the side. Right, and then to that, so I'll give that a mix first. Rehydrate it a bit. Into that, equal measures as usual, really. 2 strong white bread flours and a wallop. Mix that lot up. Okay, that's too dry. So add another. We'll just call this a tablespoon. See what happens. There we go. None of this is exact science, we'll just get a feel for it really. Combine that together really nicely. Right, so that's a rehydrated but full circle of life. So what I'm going to do now, if I can find the Sharpie, so I don't know where that's gone. Where's that gone? There. So, lid on, back it off a bit. So I was going to put a mark at the levels that these things are all sat at. So that's a rehydrated starter. That's Bert Levain, the daily feeder. So he's starting now. Let's chuck this in the wash a minute. That's a brand new starter 50-50 mix of strong white bread flour and whole wheat spelt flour. So he's starting now. This is the other brand new one, just plain mental block. What is this? Strong white bread flour. And all of these are done with bottled water. As I say, you can use filtered water if you want. So, really, that is everything I know. If anyone gets any questions, feel free to comment down below. For this video, pick you up for a flyby of the 4 different jars. We'll get Bert back out of the fridge. 5 different jars. And if you've got any questions, let me know. So, Bert Fridge Dweller, feed once a week. Brand new starter, tall jar, strong white bread flour, slightly shorter jar, brand new, 50-50 on bread flour and whole wheat spelt flour. Bert Levain, the daily feeder, which I've just started again from the fridge, Bert Fridge Dweller. And then, what's the one on the end I've just done? Oh right, so that's the dehydrated and then rehydrated Bert. And we'll see how any of these go. We'll come back later tonight and over the next couple of days. Hope that's helpful to anyone that's asked. Cheers and gone.